Qigong and Tai Chi and the Taoist tradition in general is based on a concept, on a principle that people find difficult to believe. The principle of taking things easy, of relaxation being more effective than stress. In some ways this is very obvious. It's very obvious that if you can relax, life is easier, and that there are generally more efficient, simpler ways of doing things. Relaxation means becoming more natural. But sometimes the effect is kind of surprisingly effective. So, for example, fitness is generally widely accepted that in order to be fit, you need to work against resistance. And in Qigong, we avoid resistance. We don't work against resistance ever. We work with the flow. And so there is very little aerobic exercise. There is very little challenge to the muscles. And so you would not expect that this would grow your fitness. And yet it does, very, very effectively. When I first was studying Qigong, my master used to give instructions at the beginning of the class. Relax, think about something else. I don't want to see anyone concentrating, none of this. Oh, relax. If it gets hard, go and have a cup of tea. And he taught me to relax. And the amazing thing is that within a couple of weeks, a month of practicing this for an hour or two once a week, I was growing muscles I'd never had before. And I was losing weight. And even more amazingly, I don't have to keep up the practice. If I don't do any exercise for a month or 2 or 3, I don't lose my fitness level. I can go for a year without doing any aerobic exercise and just a little bit of waving my arms in the air. And I still run faster than most of my friends. And further. I'm not greatly fit in terms of being able to run really fast and really far. There's plenty of people who can run further than me. But the level of fitness that I achieve versus the level of effort I put in, that's pretty special. And I think this is something that's really valuable to a lot of people. People who don't have the time or energy to put into stress themselves out. And it's particularly important also when you get to phases of life where you can't stress your body out. If you're very sick and you're recuperating, if you're getting older, if you're pregnant or recovering from birth, it's actually really not good for you to push against resistance. And so that's where this approach becomes really valuable. And of course it doesn't end with the body. We're learning through the body to relax and to take things easy, and to take life in an easier way. It helps us to relax our mind, to become natural in the mind. Instead of trying to be a good person or try and control what's going on in your mind, try and stop your thoughts. It allows things to flow naturally, and you find what is that natural flow of mind. The thoughts don't stop, but they become a lot more peaceful. The attitude changes. And in that peace, a certain happiness is found. And then the principle applies further. It applies to how do we solve and work with the challenges in our lives? How do we find better ways of doing things? And make life easier. And in training and learning to relax and take the easy path, we can then learn to apply that in our lives, to find that easy path wherever it's possible. I think there's also a lot of value in studying these kind of techniques as an adjunct to other traditions. If you're learning some other martial arts tradition, it can be very useful to learn these principles of how the body moves. If you're learning yoga, these principles of how the body moves and how the mind can be relaxed can deepen and ease your yoga practice. If you're learning to dance, even if you're taking life in a religious Christian approach, to understand the link between relaxation, ease, and faith can truly deepen the practice. There is a certain beginning point where that relaxation feels like floppiness. You're tense and you're just flopping. But as you relax deeper, you feel that there's a certain point of relaxation. Relaxation actually relaxes into energy. And so becoming more relaxed doesn't make you weak, it makes you strong and energetic, in the same way that a dog runs around in a deeply relaxed way. And you tell it to stop and sit, and it will stressfully sit there, controlling itself from moving. Actually, the running and the movement is a more relaxed, natural expression. So when we're talking about relaxation and natural approach, it doesn't mean just lying on your back not doing anything. It's actually relaxing into action. And the more we do it, the more the action comes easily and gently.